Shalom, family. I hope everybody's doing okay. And thanks again for joining me. Today, family, we're going to talk about prophets and prophetess, in these days. And how some people are self-proclaimed prophets or prophetess. The Most High did not give them no title like that. They're just self-proclaimed prophets. The problem with that, family, there's not going to be anything else added to the scriptures, okay? Yeah. If that was the case, then the book of Revelation wouldn't have ended, with chapter 22. Instead, it would have said, and there's going to be more added later on after this book. No. At the end of Revelation, it say, Amen. It's over. It's done. There's nothing else going to be added to it, okay? And most of these people who claim to be prophets are really just re-quoting what the prophets of old have said, but they kind of change the words around and make it their own, and then declare themselves a prophet. Okay? If that's the case, family, we all prophets. Every last one of them. Those who's listening to me now, we all prophets if that's the case. Because all of us can say the kingdoms of this world is going to fall. And we'd all be correct, wouldn't we? But that don't make us a prophet. We're stating the obvious. We're stating what's already written. Okay? Written of old. That's all we're doing. There's been many, if you've been on YouTube for any length of time, years, of how many people claiming to be Israelites or whatever have told us it was time to flee. And a lot of people bought into it and left here and went to Africa or some other place, and it went bad for them. So a few of them lost their lives listening to these people saying they're prophets. It's one group that's still on YouTube right now. Changes their mind, look like every few months. One while he's telling people we should flee, and then in the next breath, a few months later, he purchased land and a house here in the United States. Well, what happened to the flee doctrine? What happened to we should be leaving? See, if it's a true prophet, family, the message is not going to change. It don't change every time something don't come true, then they have to change it and try to fix it. See, you don't need to fix real prophecy. It's already fixed. It's set in stone, family. And we're witnessing some of the prophecies coming to pass. Now, we're not prophets, but we can be the voice of prophecy. In other words, we teach prophecy from the scriptures of the things that are yet to be fulfilled. That don't make you a prophet. But you're the voice of prophecy. Because you're speaking what is written. Okay? This is not some new revelation you came up with. Well, think about it, fam. What else can man add to the prophecy that the Most High hasn't already revealed? Just think hard on that. What can man add to it that he can call himself a prophet? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's already written. Okay? let's go to Revelation chapter 22, verse 6 and 7. And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. And the Most High Elohim of the holy prophets sent his angel to show unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. See, they've already done it, okay? Verse 7, behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. Not another book coming. He said, keep the sayings of the prophecy of this book. This is the very last chapter in Revelation. Let's drop down to verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. Verse 19, and if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. See, it's already written, family. These folks getting up here proclaiming to be prophets, they're only taking the scriptures and rewording it to make it sound like they are a prophet. What they are liars and false prophets. See, I've seen so many of them predict things and that didn't come through, and then the next year they try to fix it. Or you don't hear another peep from them on that subject. See, it's many people have lost their lives following false prophets. You know, what is this group name? Way back a few years ago, not a few years, quite a few years ago, this group called Heaven's Gate, where they thought the world was fitting to end, and they all committed suicide. Okay? See, that's what following false prophets will get you. Get you in trouble every time. Okay. Let's go to let's go to Joel chapter 2, verse 28 through 32. This is where a lot of people get messed up. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Okay? And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. Verse 29, and upon all the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. Verse 30, and I will show wonders in heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Verse 31, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Most High come. Verse 32, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Most High shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there shall be deliverance. And the Most High has said, and in the remnant whom the Most High shall call. A remnant. Everybody's not going to make it. Now what that chapter and verse is doing, it's just all it's doing is verifying what Acts 2 and 17 said. See, family, some prophecies in the Old Testament have already been fulfilled. And that's where you get messed up at. There are more to come now that haven't been fulfilled. But a lot of people will take those that have been fulfilled and try to prophesy from that. Okay? So let's go to Acts 2:17. It pretty much says the same thing as Joel. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Most High, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Now let me read the first part of it, and I'm going to stop. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Most High, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Stop. Now put your thinking caps on, family. That scripture said he will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. See, that's not correct. That's not the meaning of that, family. If that were the case, if he's going to pour out his spirit of prophesying and all that upon all flesh, then the Hamites are going to be prophesying. All the Gentile nations are going to be walking around here prophesying. It said all flesh, didn't it? I mean, maybe it even mean the animals. They got flesh. It said all flesh. See, you have to watch it. And we know good and well other nations is not going to be walking around. It's 330 million people in the United States. So 330 million people are going to be walking around with the Spirit of Most High prophesying. Can you see how big a mess that would be? Nobody would know what to believe. Everybody's a prophet. Don't make any sense. See? And you have to watch it, and people will use that to justify calling themselves a prophet. See? Like I say, a lot of these things have already been fulfilled, family. They've been fulfilled. You really have to pay attention to these scriptures and try to keep them in context. Let's see what Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 21 through 24. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. Now that ran part, yet they ran, that's what the way the word was getting around. They call people runners. You know, they go here and here delivering messages and prophecies. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. See? 22. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned them from their evil way and from the evil of their doings. Am I an Elohim at hand, said the Most High, and not a Elohim afar off? He said, and I'm right here at hand. I'm not afar off. Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him, said the Most High? Do not I fill heaven and earth, said the Most High. He said, well, if they were prophets, then they would have been able to turn the people. You know, they should have turned them from their evil way. But they wasn't, because they wasn't sent. See? Even then, we had self-proclaimed prophets. See? It always has been, and it's always going to be. Let's go to Matthew 24, verse 11. See, that's right, Matthew 24, verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. See, this is what's going on in the world. You know, we have these people jump on YouTube and I'm a prophetess, or I'm a prophet, I'm prophet so-and-so, and all this, and they're only rehashing what's written, family, and making it their own. That's it. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know I'm very careful about that. When I'm reading prophetic scriptures and stuff, I'm always mindful and careful to tell people, Now, I'm not no prophet. Now, I am sharing a prophetic word, but I'm not a prophet. See, you'll never catch me trying to predict dates. See, because then I'd be a false prophet. See, ain't no way I can predict any date. I just know it's coming. I don't know when, because the scriptures tell us no man knows. See? So I'm very careful. Be mindful of that. I am not a prophet, but I am a prophetic voice, which only means that I am teaching from the prophets that are written of the things that are yet to come. I didn't write it. The Most High did not give that to me, but I have access to it. And he gives me the understanding of those prophecies. But I'm not the prophet. Those prophets are dead. Okay? We're just teaching and revealing what was revealed to them through the Most High. Matthew 24, verse 23 through 24. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. See? And this is why I don't understand how those people got sucked in to pulling up stakes here in the U.S. and move somewhere where these false teachers and false prophets told them we should be going. And a lot of them met up with a terrible end. They lost everything they had and had to return back to the United States. And a few of them, harm came to them. Okay? By following somebody who say they are prophet. Verse 24 says, For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. See? If it was possible. It's not supposed to be possible, family. Not if you one of the elect and you know better, you know the scriptures, you know not to listen to these idiots. Telling you when you should leave and when you shouldn't. When the Most High gets ready for us to leave, he'll provide the way. Okay? It's nothing that we decide to do on our own. I'm trying to think of the scripture. It says, though we are angels from heaven preach any other gospel unto you other than which we preached unto you, let him be accursed. That means if somebody coming to you with anything outside of what is written, then let him be accursed. Because it's false. Okay? It is false. Let's see. Let's go to Matthew 24, verse 29 through 31. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the Son of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. See? It tells you, after the tribulation, the angels, he's going to have the angels gather us up. See? Family, during the tribulation, people are still going to be here on earth living. It's going to be a lot of our saints that have to go through the tribulation. And in Revelation, it tells you that, it's these are those that, didn't walk away from the faith, and kept themselves during tribulation. And then again, the Most High, some of us may be moved to the wilderness. Okay? But it's not going to be no rapture, family. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33 through 38. As I live, said the Most High Elohim, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries where you are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there I will plead with you face to face, like I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, said the Most High Elohim. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant, and I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am the Most High. See, that's happened before. Remember when he brought our foreparents out of the land of Egypt? Some of them rebelled. They wandered around for 40 years till they died off. They didn't get to enter into the promised land. Same thing here. We're going to have to go back into the wilderness. Same exact thing. See, the Most High already has this stuff lined up, family. We can't prophesy something else other than what's written. And you have to watch that word prophesy, because it has multiple meanings. And when you're studying that word prophesy, now it kind of takes on a different meaning, in the Old Testament than it do in the New. I mean, it's both prophecy now, but it can take on a different meaning. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Verse Matthew 7, 21, 23. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? Verse 23, and then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Now, in verse 22, it said, have we not prophesied in thy name? In that particular verse, it's not talking about foretelling nothing. It's talking about teaching. In other words, take the word prophesy out and replace it with teaching. Have we not taught in your name? Okay. If you go to Strong's G 4395, one of the definitions will tell you, it says to teach, refute, reprove, admonish, comfort others, to act as a prophet, or discharge the prophetic office. So that's what they asking Mashiach. Didn't we teach in your name? And he just told him, depart from me, I never knew you. See? Because they were lacking in a whole lot of other things. You can be the best teacher on this planet. But if you yourself are not obeying the Most High in the scriptures, but you just trying to teach everybody else to do it, then he's going to tell you, depart from him. Yeah, you're a good teacher. You've been around there teaching everybody else to obey, but you wasn't obeying. See? You have to watch that. Now, when you talk about prophecy in the Old Testament, which would be Strong's H5012, it means to prophesy under the influence of a divine spirit or of false prophets. See? So, when it's used in one place, it's saying something else, a little bit different. This is why you have to search the scriptures back and forth, like it tells you to. Here a little, there a little, You have to really study that stuff, family, and not try to approach the scriptures in a carnal mind. All of it is spiritual, and that's the way you have to read the scriptures. We hear many things that don't sound like it don't make sense, and we recognize it right away until it comes to the scripture. We just don't have no discernment in the scriptures. And that's what gets us in trouble, family, and cause you to follow false prophets. Once again, family, read in the book of Revelations. There's not anything going to be added to this word or taken away from it. So if anybody comes talking about they got a new revelation from the Most High, they are a liar and a false prophet. They're a liar. Revelation ends the book, as far as we're concerned. We can read for ourselves the things that are to take place. We don't need no self-proclaimed prophet coming on here telling you that. You can read it yourself. It's time to do this. It's time to do... They don't know what time it is to do nothing. And it's a shame. Many of our people fall for this stuff. And coming on and hollering you a prophet or a prophetess, y'all know what clickbait is. That's just to say something outstanding and get people to click onto your channel. Giving yourself them kind of titles and stuff ain't nothing but clickbait. Oh, here's a prophet or a prophetess. Let's watch her. That's all that is. They not no prophet just because they rehashed the written word that's already written. They changed the words around and put it in their own words to make it sound like they're the prophet. Reading the written prophecies does not make you a prophet. No more than standing in your garage makes you a Buick or an Oldsmobile. Okay? These people are just false. And they're adding to the Most High's word. In most cases, they take away from the Most High's words too. So, let's read this. Let's read Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31 through 34. Okay? Behold, the days come, said the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they broke, although I was a husband unto them, said the Most High. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Most High, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. 34. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Most High. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest, saith the Most High. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. See, we're not going to, what are we going to do with 330 million people prophesying and teaching? See, the Most High has put his word in our hearts when you accept him. When you accept Mashiach and follow the teachings, that's what he means. He'll put it in the word, be written in your heart. You don't need nobody to teach you because the word is written in your heart. So ain't no way Acts 2:17 means he's going to pour out his spirit on all flesh. No, he ain't. So that means if he's going to pour it out on all flesh, that means he's going to pour out his spirit on unbelievers too. So they'll be walking around prophesying. The Gentiles are walking around prophesying. And Hamites, anybody but Israel. Everybody in this country, 330 million people, if that scripture means all flesh, then everybody's going to be prophesying. And you think just about how much confusion that's going to be. And the Most High is not the author of confusion. Man is. Satan is. Okay? So, my advice, anybody call himself a prophet or a prophetess, stay away from them. Because they're liars. They are self-exalters. They're exalting themselves to be a prophet. The Most High did not. He did not send them. He has no need to. Nothing's going to be added to the scriptures, family. What new prophecy, what new revelation can we get that's not written? I'd like to know. If you have one, let me hear it. Okay? It's all done through the minor and major prophets and through Mashiach himself. Okay? All right, family. I think we can stop right there. You know, just watch who you listen to. Don't let no man tell you it's time to do that, you know. You remember that story in the book of Jasher where they took it up on themselves? Oh, well, it's time for us to leave, like Moses said, and took it on themselves to leave. And it wasn't time. The Most High let them all get destroyed, except for maybe 2 or 3. Okay? So, be careful what you're listening to in these last days, family. Be very careful. People start telling you when to leave, giving you dates when this is going to happen and that going to happen. And every time they done it, it didn't come true, fam. It didn't come true, but people still follow them people after they hear them speak some kind of prophecy that fell on its face flat, and they still subscribe to their channel. See? And there's not going to be excuse for that. You're not going to be able to stand in front of the Most High. Well, this is what this guy said. No, but did you read the word? Did you study to show yourself approved? Now, you can't lay that at his feet. Now, the Most High is going to deal with false prophets and teachers, for sure. But But you got a responsibility too to check everything out somebody say. If it doesn't match up and line up with the word that's already written, then you get away from them. Let him be accursed. That's your responsibility. You sit there and listen to it, then that's on you. Okay? Okay, family. I think it's enough said about this today. Most High willing, we'll talk again. Shalom.